So good afternoon, everyone. So for another season of We Are in Business. So we're starting the season very strongly. We have Alicia Barchechat. She's a CPA. She has lots of experience in accounting. She founded her own accounting firm called SimpleKeeper, and she works with small businesses, and she really helps them grow. And Alicia, we're very happy to have you here today.
Very happy to be here as well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So we have a couple of questions for you today, and we'll be able to help our listeners in their accounting and their financing for their business. So the first question we have for you is, can you speak to us a little bit about you and why you chose to be an accountant?
Of course. So why did I choose to be an accountant? Because I had a really amazing teacher in university who made me fall in love with accounting. It's like one thing comes to the next, and then you realize, okay, this is what I really love to do. And that's sort of the reason why I went that route. I'm really happy I did, because I really love what I do. So I started off as a financial staff for a big firm downtown. It was actually BDO. And I worked there for about 3 years while I was working on getting my bachelor's together and my CPA CGA to be exact. And then once I did that and I completed that, I really loved what I did, but I didn't love not being able to interact with clients. As a person working in a big firm, you know, your managers and your senior managers and your partners are actually the ones interacting with clients. You're sort of the one doing the work. I love the work, but I also wanted to have that aspect of it. So I figured, okay, got my CPA. I can do this by myself. I have the tools, I have the background, I have the experience. Let me give it a try. And so I did that. I was a one-person show working from my basement, trying to get clients here and there. And then as with word of mouth, it just sort of happened, thankfully. I mean, right now we're a team of 5 in an office, in an actual established office. And it's growing. So really happy about that. And that's sort of where I started.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you, Alicia. And that's also very important to have people that are passionate about the business. And it's good that you're growing. You have an office. You have employees. So it's very good. So now we will need some advice. We need you to educate us a little bit on accounting. So what are 3 advices that you can give our viewers for the next tax season?
Next tax season, because now our tax season is over.
Yeah.
Some people, it's still happening because they're a little late, which is still okay. Your accountants will still help you. Yes, so for next tax season, a few tips, okay? I've noticed people this year, obviously with COVID, there was a lot more requirements from CRA in terms of deductions and what you can claim. People who worked from home. I believe it's going to keep going until next year as well. So if you're working from home as an employee or as a self-employed individual, keep your bills, keep your backups. If you're going to buy a computer, if you're going to buy a mouse, a keyboard, a new chair, a new, desk, if you have, office expenses for paper and ink and pens, keep those receipts. If you get a T2200S at the end of the year, you can actually claim a portion of those expenses. So it would be really wise to keep the bills. I had a lot of people this year who had the form that was allowing them to deduct, but they didn't have the bills. So they lost out on the deduction that they could have otherwise used. That's number 1. Number 2, throughout the year, keep an envelope, okay? Keep an envelope that you're going to mark 2021 income tax, okay? Because throughout the year, you're going to get backups of things. For example, your child goes to daycare and you're going to get a bill. You go to school and you went to school for just 6 months, let's say January to June. At the end of the year, or in your portal, you're going to get a T2202 and a relevé 8. Keep those, okay? Donations. You're going to do donations throughout the year. You forget that you did them. They're in your email. Print them. Put them in the envelope or save them on a drive on your computer. These happen all the time. I got people who come back to me 2, 3 years later. Oh, I forgot this bill. We can use it, but we have to amend your return, which is an extra charge, extra work, extra headache. If you had it all in one envelope, you take that envelope, you give it to your accountant and say, now you do the work. And it's a lot simpler that way. And if I give another tip is, if you're not sure how to do your taxes, consult with a professional, whether it's an accountant or somebody who's used to doing taxes. There's a lot of different things that change every year. And if you're not up to date with it, you may be losing out on deductions or not declaring income that you should be declaring. Like people who got, the SEBA loan as a self-employed individual, the $40,000 that self-employed individuals could, the $10K that you're not giving back is actually taxable. If you don't know that, you're going to be penalized later on. Things like that. Okay. So if those are my 3 tips, I think that would be it.
Well, amazing, Alicia. So it's very good, guys. I hope you're taking notes and you're preparing your file 2021.
You can watch it later. Don't worry. It can be watched later. Keep the video for later.
That's it, guys. You have to keep a file. Even if it's only 12 days after tax season, you have to get ready for the next season. You have to make sure that you get everything deducted properly, that you're not paying too many taxes. And Alicia is here to help you, save on taxes and make sure that everything makes sense. So now our next question is, as an external controller, how do you manage working outside of the client's office, and how does that make you the right choice for small businesses?
So that's a very good question, because a lot of people think that they have to have a full-time person working for them to do their accounting. Now, you don't need that. Sometimes you do, but very often you don't. I mean, I could tell you that I have businesses who have an annual income of over 5 million, and they don't have an internal controller working there as a full-time person. You're paying $75K a year. They don't have that, okay? They have me. And we sort of do the same thing, except it's costing you less. The work is done just as well. And we basically are, we're trained on a lot of accounting software. So whether it be QuickBooks, Acomba, Sage, Simply Accounting, FreshBooks, Xero, we know them all. Okay, so depending on what your business uses, we can actually help you and do the work on that system. Okay, so if you are hard set on, I need a bookkeeper in my office working 9 to 5 every day, you may not need that. And if you just explore other options, you may actually see that, okay, maybe an actual real CPA doing the work externally may actually be more cost efficient for me. And maybe that's why I should be consulting with an external accountant and see if it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but very often it works. Now, in terms of, you have a lot of bills and how do I deal? Well, we manage, okay? We're in 2021, electronic, everything, right? Everything's electronic. You can access any bills online. You can scan any documents. And if you're still using the old method, then you send it by mail or you drop it off in our offices and the work is still done.
Right, that's amazing, Alicia. And I think that you put in a lot of good points, because most people, they pay $75,000, $100,000 for experienced accountants, and also those accountants are, for a lot of the time they don't have so much work to do. When business is just flowing as usual, unless there's big transactions. So it's definitely a very valid point. So which leads us to the last question, and I'm sure there's many people interested in this new method of working. So we know that a CPA can be expensive. How do you structure your pricing?
Okay, so that's a question everybody has, right? So how much do you cost? How much is this going to cost me? So it's actually interesting because a lot of accountants work per hour. Professionals like lawyers, notaries, they work per hour. It's known, right? As soon as you call them, they start the counter, and as soon as you hang up, they end the counter, and then they sort of charge you per hour. The way that I work with small businesses is actually on a tiered basis. What does that mean? It basically means that according to your business and how far along you are in your business. So if you're a starting business, if you're a more mature business, depending on where you are and the volume of work involved in managing your books, I give you a price and have set prices. So it's not like, oh, I like your face, so I'm going to give you a better price than you that I don't love so much, right? It's really based on the amount of work involved in doing the work for your business. So we basically have a sliding scale, and we scale with your business. So let's say you're a startup, okay? I'm not going to charge you the high price. I'm going to charge you the lower bracket, just like a subscription. When you go online and you get a subscription for LinkedIn, or you get a subscription for whatever, you don't pay the whole big, enterprise price. No, you pay for what you need, right? Or like when you use an app, same process. So we're going to give you a pricing. It usually starts at $125. and it can go up. So $125 a month, or $229 a month, or $459 a month, or $779 a month. It all depends on where you stand and where your business is. And at the end of the day, most of the time, you're paying a lot less than you would a full-time person for the same work, because you still get the reports, you still get the work, you still get access to me as your accountant forever. Anytime you need it, if you have questions, you can call, you can email. You still get all of that, but you're paying a lot less because we're working remotely on our own time.
Well, that's amazing, Alicia. So I hope you guys are listening. You know, maybe for some small businesses, you can switch and try Alicia out. We put here in the description, we put all the contact info. And there's also a chance for you to schedule an appointment. And I'm sure the first appointment is free, right?
Yes. Good question too. Let's hold on that one.
Whoa, okay.
People are worried that they're going to pay as soon as they call somebody. Okay, just know that it's always worth having that first chat. Okay, and just so you know, if you call us, the first chat is free. There's no charge until we onboard you as a client. But essentially, if you have a chat of, you know, I don't know, would you work for me? Would you not work for me? Or I'm the sole proprietor and I want to incorporate. Those first little questions are free, okay? So if you have to have a call and say, hey, you know, I heard about you and I want to know what you can offer me, call. It's always worth calling just to inquire, to see what we can offer you. And if it works for you, great. And if it doesn't work for you, great as well. But at least you had that call and you can put it out of your head.
Well, that's amazing. So, guys, I hope you're going to call Alicia right now because it's free.
My phone is ready.
That's it. So, thank you very much, Alicia. It was a pleasure to have this interview with you. Yeah, thank you. And anyone wants to be in touch, you have all the information there. You can reach me. You can reach out to me or to Alicia directly. And thank you, Alicia. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.